Hey guys, what is going on? We're back in the shop again here at Wennington Speed and Metal. Wait, we're not at Wennington Speed and Metal. We're back here at Vintage Tin Custom. That's right. We're back here at Mark's shop in St. Thomas, Pennsylvania. And we got a special build here. Mark was so kind to invite us to be a part of this build. We got a 1953 Chevy that we're going to tear it up over the next 3 days. That's right. We're going to put an LS, a 4L60 transmission, air ride, and 4-link suspension. So I hope you guys stick around to see what this car turns into. All right, guys. We're a couple hours into this, and we're actually at like 9:30 in the morning here. The drivetrain's been completely pulled out of this thing, the cooling system, front suspension, everything's out. We're actually ahead of the game. Here's the engine that was pulled out of it, an old 6-cylinder. We got Austin and Mark working with the shifter linkage right now. Tom Beckley, he's making a business deal or something with Instagram. But anyhow, Mark and Austin's actually trying to do right now. They're trying to figure out a way that they can make a column shift because we're putting a 4L60 transmission in this car. And this car was originally designed with the 3 in the tree, 3-speed on the column. So they want to try to revamp the shifter. Instead of having the H pattern for reverse, first, second, and third, they're trying to make it an automatic so it just goes up and down. So just one of the things that these guys do back here. Okay, so we just got a little bit of education here from Tom Beckley. In the late 50s, they went from the kingpin suspension steering, and this is kind of like the new rack and pinion steering, like it is today. This is actually where it hooks to the center cross member here, and that's the pivot point. So if you guys haven't ever seen anything like that, of course, this arm right here goes over to the steering box and up to the steering column.
I think the idea of this was to have the rod that goes to each wheel being the same length. So your pivot point is literally in the center. Instead of having a long drag link or something, they're having both pieces the same. Because when you straighten the wheels, you'll see that bar.
Perfect. Yeah, it is.
You know, it's like dead in the center.
All right, so where we're at now here, the whole powertrain's been pulled, everything's been pulled out. We're ready to start fitting the LS down in. Austin and I are going to go ahead and try to get that figured out and get some motor mounts made, and hopefully we make some headway here. We found out we ended up sticking the engine in, and there were some supports that come down along from the firewall down to the frame rail here on both sides. You can actually see this one right here. Austin's went ahead and cut those out for clearance because the headers on either side are like really close. Actually, this side is actually hitting. So we put the engine in, set it down in. Now we pulled it back out. Austin's cut everything out. We're going to just try to fit this back down in there, and we're going to make the frame mounts from the engine mount down to the frame. And that's what our goal is, to get this thing mounted down tight. Austin, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that's about it. The only thing I think we might have to do is, it'd probably make it a lot easier if we took the battery tray out, get it out of our way for now. We might have to massage this just a little bit.
Air induction tube, fresh air.
Okay. Some just to give us a little bit. This side's good. This side's just a little bit tighter. So
okay,
might have to massage that a little bit, but I think she's gonna fit.
All right, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on here. It's a little after 4 o'clock Friday evening. We've been at this all day long, and we got Tom in the back working on the rear differential. It's getting ready to be put up in, and the 4-link suspension hooked up. We have Mark back here on the turntable designing some stuff. And then we have Austin over here. Austin and I are putting the mating the transmission and converter up with the engine, and it's ready to go back down in. Now, I will show you, everybody pulled together, got this all trimmed out. They ended up making motor mounts. Of course, if you look right here, these are mounts that they ended up making. Look at them welds, custom welds by Austin. Wow, I think he's a professional or something. So again, we had to trim out inside here. Right down along here was a brace. This will all be cleaned up and painted. But with that said, everybody's got a job. We have a list. Mark come up with a way of categorizing everything and having different phases. And it seems like I'm assuming, ahead of schedule. What do you think, Mark?
Oh, we're ahead. Don't say it just yet because
Yeah, knock on wood. So, okay, guys, we're day 2 of the 3-day build. So a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes. Last night, the late night, the graveyard shift actually kicked in and they took over. They actually got the engine and transmission set in here in the 53. Show you here what's going on. The brackets are being already installed on the rear differential for the 4-link. The pockets are already being welded on the frame. Transmission cross member has been made and mounted. Again, if you guys follow along with Instagram under Vintage Tin Custom, you'll be able to see a lot of this. Some of this stuff's going to be videoed on there, and parts of the video will be on there. So that's where you're going to be able to find out. Again, we got the powertrain in there, the engine, transmission. Of course, he had to cut the floor out, so that's going to be another project. They're going to have to replate the floor on the transmission tunnel. So there's a lot of things that's going on here this morning in the shop. We got Mark and Tom over here on the burn table again, making some more parts. A lot of parts being made on that table. Really useful tool. So one of the things I'm going to be doing here this morning is cutting down a drive shaft. So we need to take about 1 inch or so out of this drive shaft, and I guess I'm the guy that was nominated to do that. So right now we have a battle of the brains going on here. There's different ways of cutting these drive shafts down. And you got guys like old guys like Tom Beckley here, old guys, and then you got the young guys. And there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
That's true.
How do you want to cut this drive shaft?
With a saw.
Okay, where would you like to make your cut? There's no right or wrong way. Just where would you cut it?
Well, wrong. I would have to do this on video, Dave.
We got to.
I thought we were looking to get this thing running and moving. So my thought would be we cut it in the center and take our distance out, and then have a drive shaft made. If we're going to keep this one and have it balanced, then I understand the way you guys want to cut it.
And you say?
I pull my ends off and then I clock it to each side, tack it, check my run out, and then tap my tacks according to the run out.
So again, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and we're going to figure this out. But this is the cool thing about when you get 4 different guys together with 4 different ways of doing things. You can learn new things. You can teach an old dog, that guy, a new trick. Okay, so now we put a scribe line on this drive shaft to know which side's which. This side goes with this side, so we're not switching it. So we've cut that weld, ground it down, found a seam, cut it. And now we're going to pop that end off of there. This is what it looks like once you pull it apart. There's a little step right here that sets back into the drive shaft. You can see where it sets in there. So now once we find out our measurement, we're going to true this up and we're going to deduct whatever we need. And then we're going to reinstall this and make sure it's orientated right or clocked right, and tack it, do some measuring, and weld it up. All right, guys, so we're going to move on to the front suspension. We've got to figure out how we're going to get an airbag in between the top and the bottom. So generally, you stick an airbag in here, and it's got to be able to mount up here. We're finding that that's not going to work in this case. So this has to be cut out and has to be reinforced with some bracketry in order to make it work. So on the driver's side, this is kind of a glimpse of what we're doing. Tom and I's cutting out this section right here, right across here, and it's going to end up getting replated on the end, and also a plate here, which will allow the bag, airbag, to set right in there. Okay guys, we're day 3 of this build. Coming down to the wire. We got things going on over on this side of the shop, back on this side of the shop. Things are going good, things are going bad. Any final words that you'd like to say to the YouTube world?
No, we're almost done. We're going to be rolling out of here in this thing in about 2 hours.
2 hours.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. You guys got anything to say about this build to the YouTube world?
Is it done yet?
Is it done yet? It's almost done.
There yet?
Everything's coming together. There's actually some, what do you call it? Tweaking or fine tuning of some things.
Fine tuning the rear end.
Fine tuning the rear end, resetting the pinion angle. The pinion angle was off on it, so they want to get it corrected. The exhaust is in, the transmission's in, drive shaft's been cut. It's been put back together. The brake lines have been run. A new cross member. The whole front suspension, airbag suspension. That's quite a different look there for a 1953 Chevy. Transmission lines have been run. Everything is pretty much done on the underside. The brakes need bled, of course. Then the harness needs hooked up on the engine. Little things, little things. It's going to happen. All right, it's time to cross your fingers because after many, many hours and on the end of day 3 here, we're ready to fire this thing up. So here we go.
Maybe. You want to be in there for in case we go in gear?
I was going to raise it just a little bit.
Ooh, fuel pump. We got leakage. No, we don't. Something. Oh, I thought I heard something.
Is this starter on the key? Where's the key?
In the seat. I thought.
You want me to fire it?
Try it.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Hey, we're not in gear. Definitely got a miss somewhere.
Huh?
I said we definitely have a miss somewhere.
Yeah, but it might not be lifted up yet. I mean, it's still.
When you say lift it up, oil?
Lifters are filled up, so your valve is in
A little bit of a backfire, but they run.
That's what that is.
Yep.
That fire.
We got a runner.
Okay, so obviously, it's after we got it fired up, it sounded like we had a miss. We come to find out that we found 3 bad fuel injectors. We end up replacing all the fuel injectors, and I think this is going to be the moment of truth. Moment of truth. LS 4L60, 4-link suspension, and air ride in 72 hours, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. All right, guys. So after all these long hours, it's been a blast working with Tom Beckley and Austin and Mark. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget about Mr. Tom Beckley on Instagram, also AJP Customs and Vintage Tin Customs. Guys, till next time, we'll see you then. Enjoy this. I forget his name. Into the scene. Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm bending down here like an old man and clicking and cracking around. Whatever the angle of the engine. Then, that's fun.
I'd have to do this on video, Dave.
Did we get Austin involved? No, wait a minute. He's got
I'm taking my nose back.
Somebody's going to say something.
No, I was just saying.
Oh. All right, guys. Home, room, however you want to say it. Wait, we're not at Wennington Speed Metal. We're going to tear it up over. Maybe. Or doing a. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted. Keep you posted. Stay tuned. In many ways to skin a cat. More than one way to skin a cat. More than one way to skin a cat. And
I've been skinning the cat.
Thanks for tuning in.